In this video, we're going to talk about the different forms of linear equations, and as a reminder, linear equation means it's a straight line. So like this picture over here, it's a straight line, it goes on forever, but it's just going to have a y and an x in it, and then numbers. The very first form is called slope-intercept form, and in case you're wondering why it's called slope-intercept form, it's actually extremely intuitive. Slope is part of the equation, and the y-intercept is part of the equation. And the equation that we use is y equals mx plus b. So let's say you're given, and by the way, y-intercept means where the line crosses the y-axis. So let's say you're given a slope of -2, and you are told that it goes through the point 0, 9, and we want to know what the equation is. Then your equation would be y equals -2x plus 9. And we'll talk about what to do if you're not given the slope or if you're given it a different point. The point slope form, again, is what it sounds like. It's really good for if you're given one point on the line, not necessarily the y-intercept, and then the slope as well. So let's say your slope is 3, and you're told it goes through 1, 2. Sorry, my pen's not working very well. Then you would just put into this equation over here y minus the y value of the point equals m slope times x minus, and then the x value of that point. And that would be a proper equation as well. Now, if you wanted to, you could switch that back up into the slope-intercept form up here. And to do that, all you need to do is distribute this 3. Okay, so y minus 2 equals 3x minus 3. Okay, and then add 2 to both sides. So y equals 3x and then minus 1. So this tells us then that our y-intercept for this line is going to go through 0, -1. And one last note before we go through a couple more examples is that your equation can be written as a function. So what that means is we can use the f of x instead of a y. So if you see an equation written like this one right here, you can just replace that f of x with a y and it's the same thing. But it doesn't always have to be an f of x. It could be a w of u like down here, or an hz like down here, but most often it's going to be like an f of x or a g of x or an h of x or something with x in it. But just for your information, those are the same thing. Alright, let's look at a couple of examples like you might see, especially on the ACT, they like to do these. If you're told to find an equation of the straight line that has a slope of 4 and passes through the point -1, -6, and we want to put that into slope-intercept form. That's usually the form that you see written out on the ACT, and I've put these off to the side so that we can refer to them. So you might notice that it's probably most convenient to go do point slope form first. So y minus, -6 equals m, which is 4, times x minus -1. Let's get rid of the double negatives. So we've got y plus 6 equals 4 times y plus 1, or x plus 1, sorry. And then we want to distribute the 4. So y plus 6 equals 4x plus 4. And then subtract 6 from both sides. So y equals 4x. And then 4 minus 6 is going to be minus 2. So if you're asked for the y-intercept, you can tell from the form that we just got that the y-intercept is at 0, negative 2. So that's something you might be asked. Something else that we might be asked is this problem right here, where we're given 2 points. Now the problem here is we don't have a slope. We can't really do much without a slope, so I've provided for you up here the slope formula. Okay, so let's find the slope here. M is going to equal, we're going to take the y1, 4, which is 4, subtract y2, then we're going to take x1, subtract x2. On the top we have a 2. On the bottom we have negative 3. Okay, so our slope here is negative 2/3, and you want to leave that as a fraction because that'll make things a lot easier if we leave it as a fraction. And then we're going to just do it the same way that we did this first one. And we can actually pick which point we want to use. I would probably pick the one with smaller numbers, less negatives, whatever you want. So let's go ahead. We're going to have y minus, okay, the y value of the point equals, and then we've got this slope times x minus, and then the x value of the point. Okay, and then if we wanted to simplify this, we'd have to distribute this negative 2/3. So y minus 2 equals negative 2/3 x, and then negative 2/3 times negative 1 is just plus 2/3. And then we just add 2 to both sides. Okay, so we've got y equals negative 2/3 x, and then 2/3 and 2, well, if we find a common denominator, so 2/3 plus 2 is the same thing as 6/3. 6 divided by 3 is 2. So that's going to give us 8/3. So our final equation, if we want it in that slope-intercept form, which is the most common, would be y equals negative 2/3 x plus 8/3. And that's it.